Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin here with AmericanMuscle.com. So you just picked up your brand new 2024 S650 Mustang and you're looking to start modding. I don't blame you. In fact, you came to the right place because in this video, we're gonna go over our first 5 modification recommendations for you and your ride to not only help increase your appearance, but also things like your performance and of course your sound. Guys, we appreciate you watching this video. As always, give us a subscribe and a like if you dig the content. But for now, let's get into our first modification. Let's go. All right, guys, first and foremost, let's talk about a new set of wheels, right? Because the stock wheels, they're just not it when it comes to personalizing and ultimately customizing your brand new Mustang. So what we're looking at here, guys, is the Rovos Calvinia wheel. Fun fact, Calvinia is actually short for Mach 1 in Latin. Totally made that up, that is not true, but these are modeled after the Mach 1 style wheels for the S650. And I just love them. Listen, I'm a big fan of spokey wheels. I had the 2013 and 14 GT 500 style wheels on my old car. I loved it, even though if they are torture for cleaning. It is just not fun to clean these things. But nevertheless, here they are, they look great. So this is a 20 by 8.5 all around. So we call that a square setup, means you can rotate these things as you wish. To keep those tires good and healthy. The other option would be to go with that old school staggered setup, do a 20 by 8.5 in the front, 20 by 10 in the rear. But not the case here. We got your standard square setup. Now, wrapped around that Rovos Calvinia is the Mickey Thompson Street Comp tire. It's tried and true. We've used it on a lot of our builds here at AM. This is the 255/35 R20. It's a 300 tread wear tire. So it's soft. Yes, it's a high performance summer tire, but it's not gonna totally wear out on you super fast like a Trofeo or something like that. Again, this is a square setup, so we got those 255s all around. If you did wanna get aggressive in the rear, you totally could. In fact, maybe a 315/35 back there would really set off the stance and give you that classic muscle car stance. But speaking of stance, making this lowered stance possible is a brand new set of SR Performance Sport lowering springs. Listen, the S550, the S650, they really don't look that bad from the factory when it comes to stock ride height. Far better than the older cars like the S197 and the SN95s that just looked 4x4 without any kind of spring going on. So not the case here, not terrible, but certainly could be improved upon. So that's what we did. Again, we got the SR Performance Sport lowering springs, lowering the car 1.2 inches up front and about 1 inch in the rear. And that gives it a nice lowered stance, a little bit of nose down rake, but nothing that's going to totally slam the car and make it undrivable. In fact, even if you have a wider rear wheel and tire back there, these springs will totally clear that without issue. So not only does this just look a lot better, guys, but that lowered ride height, that lowered center of gravity is really gonna help the car handle a lot better as well. The SR springs are unique in the fact they're using a progressive spring up front, so it gets progressively different with the compression. Firms up the more compression you get, so it's gonna give you a nice comfortable ride while cruising, but really once you start tossing this thing around in the turns, that progressive spring will firm up and reduce that body roll even further. Standard spring in the rear, so we call that a linear spring. It's the same spring rate no matter how much the spring is compressed, so that's gonna give you consistent traction, consistent launches, things like that. I really like that combination because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. Now, if you wanted to set off this combination of wheel and tire, lowering springs, I think a nice set of slotted and drilled rotors would be the cherry on top, the chef's kiss, if you will. However, at the time of this video, there is nothing available yet for the S650, but in due time, I'm sure our friends over at Power Stop or CNL will have something for these Brembo cars. But in the meantime, guys, I mean, personalizing and making your Mustang your own, really there's no better way, in my opinion, than adding a brand new set of wheels and tires and a lowering spring to make it all look proper. All right, guys, full disclosure for our next modification, this should honestly be at the top of everybody's list when it comes to that new Mustang at home. And of course, I'm talking about a brand new exhaust. Truth be told, these non-active GTs are just entirely too quiet from the factory, so we fixed that using the Corsa Sport 3-inch catback exhaust, and here's how it sounds. All All right, guys, so as you just heard, the Sport delivers an aggressive but not over-the-top tone. Listen, they have a pretty expansive lineup, and some of you maniacs out there love the Extreme. That's great. I call it the face melter, but for me, it's just a little too loud. The Sport is absolutely perfect. In fact, this is the same exact system I had on my 2014 GT, and with long tube headers and cats, it was just dead on. Sounded exactly how I wanted it to. Loud and aggressive when you want it to be, but at the same time, while you're cruising, it's nice and mellow. Obviously, the construction with the Corsa stuff is always top-notch, as it should be when you're paying nearly $2 grand for a catback. But in this case, we're looking at 3-inch, 304 grade stainless steel throughout, all mandrel bent. Of course, they're using their unique double helix mid-pipe, and all exiting out the Sport Series mufflers with my favorite, the gunmetal tips. Now, to me, they actually look a little bit more like a black PVD tip, but they call it gunmetal. Just a little fair warning, guys, they are kind of a sucker for fingerprints and thumbprints, so just make sure you clean them nice and well before you turn the car on for that first heat cycle. So yeah, guys, if you're like me and you need to hear your car a little bit more than the stock system, going with something like the Corsa Sport is an absolute no-brainer and a must-have for our first 5 list here for your 2024. All right, guys, so our last modification here in today's first 5 video isn't gonna make the car faster, louder, handle better, but it's something that will help keep the car looking good for many years to come, specifically the interior. And of course, I'm talking about adding a brand new set of TruShield front and rear liners for your S650 at home. This, honestly, guys, is the first modification I do to any new car, truck, wife's car, whatever, because it does such a great job of keeping those factory carpets looking fresh. But more importantly, if the liner gets a bit dirty, all you gotta do is simply yank it out, hose it off, and you toss them back in, and everything looks good to go. The TruShields here really fit great, guys. I mean, both up on the trans tunnel, on the door jamb, they go way underneath those pedals, and even a good bit here underneath the seat. And same can be said for the rear passengers as well. So if you have little ones like I do, you toss them in the rear of the Mustang every so often, well, you don't have to worry about their Cheerios or drinks or whatever ending up on your brand new carpet, because the TruShield's got your back there. What's even better about these guys is that they are super affordable. Listen, nothing against some of the big names here on the site. They are awesome, no doubt, but these are roughly half the cost of some of those bigger options. And in my opinion, they fit just as well, if not better, than some of those options we've just mentioned. So again, if it's not the coolest mod, I'll be the first to admit that, but when it comes to practicality and cleanliness, if you're like me and OCD, well then adding a set of liners to your brand new car is kind of a no-brainer. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's our first 5 recommendations for your brand new 2024 Mustang GT at home. We're talking wheels, tires, springs, exhaust, and liners. After these first 5 modifications, your car is not only gonna look better, sound better, and handle better, but it's also gonna stay a little bit cleaner on the inside in the process. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. As always, drop your first 5 recommendations down in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.